All right. We live again. It's KG.codes, Kelvin. Getting on here again. Tonight I want to do some AMA or Ask Me Anything, whatever it's called, about the tech industry, about coding, or any general questions about life. I'm a software engineer. I've been doing it about 10 years. So I know a little bit about the industry, just a little bit. So if anybody has any questions that hops on here, I'm willing to answer it. Just give some free game. Maybe I'll learn something too. So yeah, just hop on, ask me questions. I don't think anybody's on here now, but anybody that hops on, feel free to ask a question. Until the questions start pouring in, what I'll probably do to start is start reading some tech news and just start going through some of the latest tech news on TLDR, which is like a tech newsletter that I read every day. So this like tech newsletter here is called TLDR. You can like basically read this newsletter in like 5 minutes. It just gives you like clips of like the latest news in tech, and that kind of keeps me up to date with like tech industry stuff and sort of the latest news, like the latest and greatest things that are coming out. What's the big news in tech? So shoot, I'll probably just start there, and if anybody has any questions about things, just let me know. Okay, so we got a first question. Thanks, Chris on TikTok. Appreciate it. Thoughts on someone trying to learn to code by themselves, and if it's a good time right now. Okay, so that's a great question. Thoughts on someone trying to learn to code by themselves, and if it's a good time right now. So I mean, I still, I know the background behind that question is probably like with the AI stuff that's going on. Like, is it a good time to learn how to code? Like, will you be able to find a job with all this AI stuff going on? To me, the answer is yes. I think it's still a valuable thing to learn how to code at this time, at least. There needs to be somebody to help code the AI itself at the end of the day. Like, the AI is still evolving, so you still need coders to code the AI itself. And when you hear all this news about AI and stuff like that, but when you get in these real jobs, these are companies that have millions of lines of code. Some of the code these companies has is 10, 15 years old. Some of the code they have is proprietary information that they don't want to give to AI yet. So there's still a lot of room for programmers to still build things. And I think, at least for right now, at least the foreseeable future I see for the next 10 years, is that AI is not going to completely take all programmers' jobs. It's just going to greatly augment the jobs that programmers do. So like, you will learn how to code, but a lot of your kind of like baselining, like the baseline code, like just doing like boilerplate code and doing some of the grunt tasks that you would normally do in the past, you probably let AI do that now. And then when the AI gets stuck or when it starts to hallucinate or whatever the case is, then you would step in and either review the code or write the code yourself or tweak it or prompt the AI to do more. So at the end of the day, man, I still think it's worth it. It's still a lot of money in it. It's a great career. It pays very well. You can usually work from home. Even if you don't work from home, I mean, it's a pretty cushy job. And so, I mean, not stressful. You know what I mean? Like, it's cushy in the sense that you sit on a computer all day, but it's stressful in the sense of like dealing with bugs and having to be up all night trying to fix a bug, and the pressure the whole company is on you to get it fixed, to get the services back up. It could mentally take a toll on you, and the amount of work you have to do sometimes. But as far as the money you make, and everybody not making all the same money, but I just mean in general, programmers make good money. So to answer your question, man, I think if you're learning how to code, it still is good to learn the foundations. Even though AI is doing a lot of it now, doing a lot for us now, I think it's still a good career to learn how to code. I think it's still a good skill to have. Like, I think it's still going to be valuable for at least the next 10 years. I think you do have to, the people that develop the best critical thinking skill, like coding is just problem solving. And I think the best problem solvers always win. So whether the coder is using AI to assist them, or whether they're just, coding from vanilla code, they're still the best problem solver, the best software developer, thinking of in the sense of just not being just a code monkey or just a regular, just a blind coder, but a software developer, a software engineer. When you think about it holistically, code might be a tool that you use, AI might be a tool that you use, but in the end of the day, you're critically thinking in order to build software, fix bugs, enhance software. So I think the people that focus more on that are still going to keep winning. And so I think you still should learn the code. I think you still should definitely jump into it. Based on the job market right now, you said AI too, based on the job market right now. The job market sucks right now. I'm seeing peers, people in the industry, people getting laid off, companies doing layoffs. The job market does suck. But I think things always end up rebounding in a certain sense. So my hope, I'm not sure, I don't know what's going to happen, but my hope is that the job market eventually rebounds for software developers, the tech market in general. I'm about to go to a tech conference in a couple weeks. I mean, stuff's still going on. There's energy still out there, so it's not over. So I think it's going to rebound. I think, we got hit kind of hard after the, pandemic. The industry got hit pretty hard, and I think we're just waiting on that next rebound. So I'm hoping that's what'll happen. I mean, I would definitely keep an eye on it, but I don't know. If I had to give you a yes or no answer of like whether it's worth it to learn the code, I still think it's worth it to learn the code. And it's not just about coding. Like AI is coming for everything. So are we just gonna stop, learning skills in general? Like, AI might start taking over. You might put an AI driven bot in a restaurant. The bot might start cooking your food. So is it like a waste of time to learn how to be a chef? Like all AI and robotics is coming for everything. So, I mean, I think we don't know enough now. I think we just have to don't let fear of the AI stuff kind of move you into inaction. I think building skills is always going to be valuable, and you'll find a way to use the skills. So anyway, that's a long-winded answer for that. There's a lot of tools, documentation that are available to learn, and you also have AI to help you. Yeah. So and great point, Joseph on TikTok. Like right now is probably the best time to learn how to code because AI hasn't taken over completely yet, but you can use AI to learn way faster than I did. I learned how to code like 15 years ago or 10 to 15 years ago in college. And man, it was way harder when you were learning from textbooks and not so great online resources. YouTube wasn't that popping yet, like with as many resources as it is now. Now you got YouTube, you got AI that can literally teach you everything. You can literally tell it to be a teacher and get it to teach you the way you want and the style you want. Like we didn't have that. Like, I mean, it can give you the answer, but it can also super like charge your learning, because all learning is just experiencing something. So you can just make it give you the experience of like you got it wrong, you see what the right answer is, you understand it, you tell AI to tell you how to understand this concept. That's what you got to do. You can't just use the AI. You need to tell it to explain it to you. And usually it does. When it gives you an answer, it explains to you why. And so you are learning. It's the same as when I was coming up. Google was our best friend. We Googled stuff. Stack Overflow gave us a lot of answers. We copied and pasted a lot of code. It's really not that much different. It's just more powerful. It's just AI is like a supercharged version of Google. It's like you ask it for something and it gives you back a very like targeted answer. And so that's what's so cool about it. Yeah. Appreciate that question or appreciate that comment, Joseph. Let's see. What can you do to differentiate yourself and give yourself a better chance in getting a coding job? Yeah, that's a great question. I would say to give yourself a better chance as far as getting a coding job or tech job or any tech job in the industry is when you don't have experience. The worst part is not having the experience. It's the chicken and the egg problem. These companies want you to have experience before they give you the job, but you can't get experience until you got the job. And so one of the tricks that I used when I got my first programming job is that I started doing contract work, like freelance work, and I called it contract work. So whenever I would work with, I didn't have a job yet, but I knew how to code. I would start cold calling family, friends, cold calling businesses, just trying to get them to let me build something for them for free. And sometimes I would actually charge if it was big enough, but that's up to them if they want to pay you or not. But just do it for free, maybe a smaller thing for free, build it. Right, and the most important part is get a contract, and then now you can put that on your resume and say, hey, I was contracting, I was freelancing. You can say, and especially if you can find a reputable business, like you go to down the street to the restaurant or whatever and say, hey, can I build y'all a website for free? Come up with a plan, come up with a pitch proposal, but then put the restaurant name on there and say, hey, I was a contract developer for this restaurant for a year or whatever, and I built their website. Like, that's a way to put something on your resume that has some weight to it. Now, is it going to weigh as much as a real software development job? No, but it's something. It's going to be better than you having to put, like, I worked at Best Buy and I worked at a number of different jobs before I became a programmer. When I got my first job, I had to put all this random experience that had nothing to do with programming on there, and they just ignore that. Like, when I'm interviewing people, I look on their resume and there's some job that has nothing to do with programming, I just ignore it because it doesn't help. But if they have experience, if they can show me a website that they built or whatever, that does help. And so, the other thing is, just build real products. Like, the other thing that helped me is I built a social media site before I got my first programming job. It's a real site. People joined it. It was a social media site. I built it with some friends, with they were clients that became friends, or some of them I already knew, some of them was already friends. But anyway, ended up building a social media site, and it was a real site. Like, you could get on there, download it, and start conversing with people on it. And so when I got my first job, literally in the interview, they looked up the website and they said, oh, wow, how'd you build this? And I talked about how I built it, the databases behind it, the web APIs behind it, the web application itself, the logic, how it worked. And they saw what it could do. And they were like, dang, you built this all by yourself? Like, this whole social media site? And I was like, yeah. And so the social media site failed completely. It failed terribly. Like, it didn't. I don't even think we gave it a shot to succeed, honestly. But it failed. But I got a job from it. So did I really fail? From building that. So to answer the question, it's a lot of work, but to be competitive without having a job experience first, you got to just build stuff and just build, productize, and really build real stuff that if you go in an interview, you could pull up a link and say, hey, this is the app I built. This is the mobile app I built. It's on the App Store right now. This is what I built it with. These are the problems I ran into. Like, interviewers love to hear stuff like that when they don't have anything else to grasp in the interview. So I hope that helps, man. I hope that helps. It's hard to get a job out here though right now. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, coding job, or technical jobs, man. It's the industry. Everybody's laying off. Not many people hiring. It's tough, man. It's really tough. Like, let's see what other questions we got on here. I'm trying to get a job in data analytics. Do you think SQL is the number one language to learn? Oh man, data analytics. Yeah, I mean, I think SQL, as far as languages, SQL is going to be an important one. I mean, I would think with data analytics, you want to learn SQL. That's the structured query language. That's like language of databases. So, but I think you want to start learning about different databases. Then you want to learn SQL, and I think you want to learn about data analytics tools, business intelligence tools like Power BI. You want to start learning about dashboarding tools, Grafana, like things like you want to start looking up some of the most used tools, because I feel like I'm not a data analytics, so I'm just going from what I know about data analytics people in my company and that I've worked with in the past. Is they live in those tools. That's where they live, and they live in like databases and data lakes. And you might actually, like with data analytics, you might actually want to start touching up on like some cloud stuff, like cloud architectures around data. So that's like data lakes and how data is stored, how different databases, like the different types of databases, relational databases, non-relational, learning how big data is basically what you want to start studying, for sure. But SQL is definitely like, you want to be able to query databases, but you also want to learn the other tools around how to that are able to expose data and make sense of it, that's basically what data analytics is you got a lot of data, like big data. You got a lot of data, and like, how do you make sense of it with tools, and how do you pull the insights you need out of it? So, that's a good career to get into, man, for sure. Because I think data analytics, that's the one where it's like AI can do a lot of analytics for you, but like translating even what the AI finds out of the data into business actions for a business can still be a part that humans are still needed much more for. So that's a good area to go into for sure. What should I start making career switch? SWE. I want to do tech. Or maybe saying where should I start making a career switch? SWE, software engineer. I want to do tech. He said, what should I start making you still said, what should I start making a career switch? Yeah, repeat that question again, because I couldn't get that one. I'm tired of the long interview process. It's draining. Yeah, these technical interviews, man. I've been in technical interviews before. It's like 5 rounds of interviews, man. It's insane. Like, you have a call with the tech recruiter. You got a call. You got a sometimes you have a what you call it. I don't even know what you call it. What do you call that first call? It's kind of like a weed out call, like a technical assessment, just to see if you even worth interviewing. They'll give you like one little easy problem, see if you worth interviewing. That's crazy. So you do that, and then you might fail that, and they like, you ain't even worth interviewing. And then you'll go into a coding round where you got to do some deep coding problems. You might have 2 of those. Then a lot of times you'll have a system design round where you need to understand architecture, and they may ask you how to design a system. And then you might have a behavioral round where that's more like a typical interview that you see in other jobs, where they basically ask you questions about your behavior, how you handle situations, your experiences, how you handle them. And then, you have like 4. Sometimes you have 4 or 5. Sometimes you have 2 coding rounds. So it's just, especially for big tech. Like the big FANG companies, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, and Google, like, and then Microsoft, you throw Microsoft on there. Yeah, like you can, and a lot of these other big companies that have copied Google basically with their interview processes. So yeah, I have a concentration in AI. Is that a good path? Yeah, for sure. Raspbies, for sure, man. Like, if you want to be safe from AI, like, if you can't beat it, just join it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't beat it, just join it. Like, just go down the AI path. Either learn, from a coding perspective, I'd say learn Python. Like, that's sort of the best entry language for coding in AI, like coding, machine learning, large language models, LLMs. Like, you want to learn Python to learn how to code, around AI, and just get deeper into that world. I'm not really deep into that world as far as the coding side. I just like to do regular coding and use AI like to assist it. But that's a good path to go, man. If you're working on the AI, then you're, at least for now, at least for a longer period of time, you're more safe. And even on the other side of, like, if you're just working in a company that's doing AI, or you're selling AI, like, you can be in tech sales and be the one that's selling the AI tools to other companies. That's a really safe job. Like, if you're going around selling, doing enterprise sales to, like, you're going to these companies and saying, hey, we can replace your developers with AI agents, and you're in tech sales, like, you make a lot of money, like, because you get all those commissions and stuff. Like, it's a lot of money in tech sales. And that's like one place that I see some people online talking about a lot, but it probably don't get talked about enough as a good career. So, going in AI in multiple areas of it is pretty wise. I mean, it's not. I don't think you can. It's hard to go wrong if you do it right. So. What should I? That's the same question. Is this a recorded live or is it actually live? Yeah, Raspbies. Yeah, this is definitely live. I mean, it should be. It might be delayed or something. I'm streaming across multiple platforms. So I'm on TikTok. If anybody want to switch up, I'm on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook, all at the same time. So some of them might be, I don't know how the streaming service that pushes out the stream, it might be like splitting it up and it might have a delay or something. I don't know. But yeah. My boy Felix on Facebook, that's like my real friend. Real life, man. What's going on, dude? Biggest thing I find with data in business is that you need to be able to tell a story from the data to make actionable business-driven decisions. That's what I was trying to say earlier, but he just said it in a better way because he's a professional. So, like, that's what it is. Like, with data analytics and business intelligence. So, like, you want to just be able to, tell a story with it. And I still think there's a big human component in that. So I think that job is a little bit more AI proof than a lot of other jobs in tech for sure. Because the AI is going to, I think a lot of the business and tech, like as far as crunching data, the AI is going to be able to do that. And it's going to be able to give you some level of insights. Like it's going to be able to tell you trends. It's going to be able to tell you this and that without, as much work as we had to do in the past. But as far as translating that to business decisions, there's still like a form of, I think, human and gut feeling that may go along with like doing that. Ariane Knight, what's up, man? What's going on? What's going on Instagram? My boy Travis on Instagram, I think still. What's going on, y'all? Yeah, man. I think what's the next question? Never mind, it's live. Yeah, I'm definitely live, man. I'm live for sure. Kenneth on YouTube took a break from my stream to hop on here and say what's up. What's going on, man? I'll see you soon at Render for sure, dude. For sure, man. I'll see you soon. What's the tech industry's thought on the One Piece? On One Piece? I don't know. I know what One Piece is. I don't know what the tech industry thought is on it. Starting a security engineer internship role for Verizon on Monday. Any tips? Hey, that's what's up. Congratulations, man. That's what's up. Security engineering internship. Yeah, that's a good spot too. Like security and tech, like tech security, that's a lane that people don't talk about either. Like, because as AI starts doing more and more, what I've seen is that a big hole in AI right now is security. Like there's a lot of stories out there of AI introducing security issues and not understanding what it's introducing. And so there's still a lot of room. There's still a good lane for people to get in there, like in tech security. So like being like a security engineer or so like you're either a software engineer that's focused on security exploits, or you're on the security team and you're doing penetration testing where you're like, you're basically like trying to, test the system for exploits before they actually get found. So you can be the one fixing the security exploits. You can be the one helping to find them. You could be the one that's pushing security initiatives to lock up the tech product at the company you're working at. So there's a lot of different lanes in tech for sure, man. So yeah, Ariane Knight, I didn't know you could stream on IG like this. Yeah, for sure. And are you the one that do the coding challenges? Like, yeah, man, you got a good channel, man. So yeah, if people on Instagram, definitely go follow him, man. He off the chain with it. All right, where do you work? I work at a chat company. I'm not gonna put the name out there, but I work at like a very large chat company. So like chat, like as in what you like if you go on a website and like you need to chat with their customer service, you like click a chat button, like chat here with us right now. I work for a company that provides that chat service for other big companies. So like you probably used it before, because if you go to any of these like big, huge companies and use their chat service, usually they're not the ones building. Usually they're paying another company to do it, to like white label it as their own, but it's really another company building it. So I end up getting to see my stuff I get to use my stuff that I work on myself. I get to see other people using it like on big sites. Some of my friends work at these giant companies and they're like, dang, you the one that work on that chat box and da. So I feel like with my job, I get a lot of rewarding feeling from like seeing my work actually being used out in the industry. So that's pretty much all I say about that. Oh yeah, Area Knight, he's the hood coding. Yeah, that dude, yeah, he's an inspiration, man. I love his channel. So yeah, y'all, if you're on Instagram, he's in the comments. Like, go follow him for sure. Like, it's like that junk. Like, it came out of nowhere. I was like, dang, dude, this is like, I love the way he does his videos. It's like hood. He like does. I've done coding challenges on my channel before, but he came with the hood coding challenges. Like, I was like, hey, that's fire, man. I was like, dang, yeah, I wish I would have thought of that. Like, so keep it up, keep going with that, man. That's really good. Anyway, let me try to answer some more questions. What's the best university for computer science? I mean, I think you just have to look at if they have a computer science department, like, cause I think it just depends on the school. Like, I recommend going to a university that has a well-established computer science department, so you can get the help and assistance you need. Like my school, they had a computer science department. It was small at the time, but they at least had a computer lab for the students in the computer science department. They had teachers. They had, like, it was a department on its own that had some it was well established, and so you can get the help and assistance you need. Like, if you just go into a school that has the computer science degree, but they don't have like a true like established department with programs and help and assistance, then it's going to be hard for you to kind of like thrive if you're struggling to learn. Like, you want to be able to go places for assistance. You like, the computer lab was like just having a computer lab and just getting in there with other engineers, with other students, and like being able to work through problems together. You couldn't cheat off each other because they had ways to detect that even back then. But like helping each other and like just learning together, like, and just being in that lab all night. It was like countless nights I spent the night in there basically. And like, yeah, so that's what I would recommend as far as like a school. You can do online, but it's, online college is tough. I'm probably not a good person for that. I'm starting to feel lost with all the things. How would you combat this feeling? The overwhelmingness of trying to learn how to code or learn how to get into some tech field. It's for sure, man. It's tough. Like, cause it's too much out there to consume. I would recommend this may help you. I think this is Brittany on TikTok. This may help you. It's called Roadmap SH. Roadmap.sh. Developer roadmaps. This thing can kind of help you narrow down what you learn, because the thing is, you can't learn everything. I don't know everything. I know a lot over the course of the last 10 years, but I don't know everything still. Like, I'm not super deep into AI engineering. I'm just deep in the area. I'm more deep in like front end, back end. I know a little bit of DevOps, definitely full stack. There's certain iOS and Android. If you look on my channels, I build my own apps, but there's certain stuff in here I don't know. So I think coming to this site is great for like coming here, figuring out like what are you interested in, and then starting from there. And like, if you're interested in the front end, it will start you at the core basics. Like, it will teach you like, how does the internet work? Like, you need to learn the basics, like, and I'm sure you're probably past that, but you can come in here and find what level you are at, and this will give you at least some pathway and like trajectory on what to learn next without feeling overwhelmed. Sometimes you just need somebody to just tell you what to do, and You go on the internet and they telling you everything to do. If you're not learning AI, you ain't doing nothing. If you're not learning this, if you didn't get on this, there's always some new framework coming out the next week. There's always something. So you're gonna get overwhelmed. Even I get overwhelmed. I'm like, dang, I'm behind on all these new AI companies that are coming out, or not even AI, just like JavaScript frameworks, for example. So, but yeah, my bad, roadmap.sh. I hope maybe this is a good resource for multiple people. Roadmap.sh. It is like, I think it is a great tool for somebody just learning, because you don't use this to learn necessarily, but it's like she said, sometimes you get overwhelmed with what to learn next. You don't know which way to go because everybody's telling you to learn everything. You can't learn everything. So this at least gives you some sort of framework to loosely follow, and it tells you what to learn next, the concept, the topic to learn next, and then you go mess with that topic, So I hope that helps. I appreciate that question, Brittany. That was a great question for sure. Let's see. I probably missed some questions. Let's see. My boy Travis saying, appreciate you tagging people. My boy Travis, man, he got a birthday coming up. Happy birthday to Travis. Let's see. What was the site again? Oh, yeah. The site was roadmap.sh. Roadmap.sh. I don't know why it's .sh. I don't know what that it's not .com, it's .sh. So, yeah, it's a very good site. Like, a lot of people recommend this site online for sure. So, yeah, that's a good one. So, our entry-level jobs cooked. Oh, man. You hit me with, yeah, that's a tough one, man. I would say right now, it's tough, man, to get an entry-level job. I haven't seen anybody hiring entry-level jobs that much recently. It's mostly they're looking for 2 to 3 years minimum. So it is tough, man. When it, like 2 years ago, or 3 years ago now, like 2022, when the tech industry was kind of booming right after the pandemic for some strange reason. I guess because what happens, the pandemic closed all this stuff down, and then so all these people, the world was forced to get on their computers and use these technical things versus being in person. And then that made tech boom. And then once everybody started going back to work and we were like, oh, everything about to go back to normal, then these tech companies had overhired. And then this is kind of the reaction to that overhiring. But anyway, to answer the question, and shoot, I forgot the question. I'm just jumping all over the place. Yeah, I forgot that question. Ping it again. Do it again if you remember that question. I'll be getting distracted and stuff. Dang, where was that question? Like it got deleted or something. Oh, entry-level jobs cook. Yeah. So, yeah, I got distracted on that one. But anyway, yeah. I haven't seen too many companies hiring on it because they overhired. So now they're like not hiring right now. They're actually laying off. And so when they do hire, they're usually replacing somebody that's experienced. So they're not hiring entry-level people that much. You can still find entry-level jobs, but it's tough. Like, because it's just not as when you're laying people off, you don't have as much bandwidth to bring in new people that you're going to have to train and this and that. And then so many people have been laid off that the job market is so competitive that even when they do put out an entry-level job, if a experienced person comes in and goes for the entry-level job, then they probably going to get it because it's going to be like that's going to be an easy interview for them, or easier interview. So I hate to say it, man, entry-level jobs, at least as they stand right now, are cooked. Entry-level jobs are always cooked when the industry is bad. So you kind of have to yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough. But I can't say that on one end. And like the first question I answered in this live was like how to get an entry-level job. So I'm gonna say yes, it's cooked, but there's a path forward. You just have to do more. You can't just go to college, get a degree, or go to a boot camp and, get a boot camp certificate, or just learn the code and think you can just land a bunch of interviews. You gotta use tricks to build your own resume. That means contracting, freelancing, get a contract. Just build some real projects with real companies. It will help you learn, and it will you'll be able to put it on your resume as contract work. That's what I did. It helped me out a lot. Like, cause the company when I built this mobile, I built the social media site. It was with a real company, a real LLC. Like, it was a real company, and I just said, hey, I was just working as a contractor for them. That's what I really was doing. So don't lie. Like, I really did I learned a lot. I was able to talk about what I learned, but they looked at it like, dang, he worked 2 years under contract with them. It was a contract and role. As long as you get a contract, that's what it is. It don't have to be this whole thing where they give you a bunch of perks and they give you a bunch of this and that. You can either say you were freelancing, but I like the word contracting better. Like, I was doing contract work for this business. Now, it doesn't work as well if you just building a website for your homeboy and y'all write up a contract. It's just not going to work as well. But if it's a real business, even if it's a restaurant down the street or it's your uncle's lawn care business, you build a website for them. You say, hey, I'm going to put you on my resume as this company that I did contract work for. And I wasn't hired by you, but I was a contractor. And so that's a way to sort of trick the system and get experience where you have none and be more competitive against. Because most entry level people going to just come and say, hey, I was working at Lowe's, I was working at Best Buy like I did. I was working at, wherever I was working at that had nothing to do with coding or nothing to do with tech, So anyway, good question. I appreciate that question. A good way to get into tech is do an online master's in CS and do grad roles. Yeah, I mean, that's still true, man. If you can go, what's it called, structured education or whatever. I know a lot of people are getting into tech through other means now. They're doing boot camps. Those are amazing. They got some amazing boot camps out there. I like the Georgia Tech boot camp down here. It's expensive, but it's really good. One of my friends did it in the past, and it was really good. But anyway, my point is going to school and getting a degree still helps on the resume. Like, it's not an outdated concept. Now, can you self-teach or can you do boot camps and it still work and you still get a job? Of course, they're great options. But getting that degree on there still does help. I will say that. Unfortunately, that's the truth. Like, it's still, they look at that and they see that computer science degree and it does give you a bump. So if you can go get just even a bachelor's, don't have to be a master's, but yeah, the farther you can go, of course it can help. So to use WordPress, yeah, I definitely use WordPress. I ain't too proud to use WordPress. Could I code a website from scratch, bare bones? I could do that in my sleep. But some clients that come to me, that's the thing. Clients don't care how cool you are and how well you can code. They don't care. They don't care that, you coded this circular spinning thing from scratch and you were able to code all this from scratch and blah, blah, blah. They don't care about you coding from scratch. They care about the results. And they don't care. They don't give you any kind of kudos for being the deepest developer and you knew how to do all this stuff yourself. And so there's certain, when I do freelancing work or whatever, there's certain sites that I encourage to use WordPress. I encourage I don't want to cheat them out of their money. For me to build something from scratch, I'm gonna have to charge way more than I would charge if I use WordPress or some other type of website builder. So I'm definitely not too proud to use WordPress. I know that's a long-winded answer, but that's a great question. Like, using WordPress, especially when you're doing freelance, there's nothing wrong with that. Now, if you're trying to learn how to code a website from scratch or trying to learn JavaScript, the programming language, then of course you might want to focus more on trying to build from scratch to learn. But if you're doing freelance and building websites for people, using WordPress and other website builders, yeah, is not. There's nothing wrong with that for sure. Oh, I can't neglect the Twitch. What's your leak code rating? I don't even know what my leak code rating is. I don't know. I've done probably 100 problems, and so I've never been a person to just do a lot of problems. I do the right problems. And so on Leak Code, if you get Leak Code Premium, Leak Code, y'all, if people don't know, Leak Code is for coding challenges that get asked on interviews. LeetCode is like a place to practice those coding challenges. They have like a bunch of questions and they have answers, and they just sort of have an interactive UI where you can and some of y'all have been on my live before and seen me do LeetCode before. If it is a hurry up, and I'm kind of showing my private stuff there, but anyway, yeah, LeetCode is just a site where you can go and do problems. Is my score 0 or something? Yeah, so I'm not actively like doing LeetCodes. I'm just doing them when I stream, and I just do them every now and then. But I'm not, when I'm looking for a job, yeah, I'm on here every day. But yeah, when I'm not looking for a job, I'm sort of like chilling out until until I need it. What's your income? I'm not gonna give my income on here, but I mean it's 6 figures. I mean it's above. I'll say it's 6 figures. Yeah, that's all I'll say. I mean, so hey, doing pretty well. I mean that's typically what a programmer is gonna make at this day and age in 2025. They're gonna make over that. So some make well over that. I can give you some of the Facebook numbers. Like it's crazy. Like some of them making like $500,000, like for sure. Like on these big tech companies. So I guess if you care about what generally some programs can make, I'm not making $500,000. I'll say that. So it's somewhere in between there. So maybe that give you an answer. Let's see. What projects should I start working on over the summer as upcoming first year in computer science? Oh, that's a good question, man. So you're going into your first year, and what projects do you want to work on? Yeah, if you do some projects before you go into the first year, you'll start off pretty good, because a lot of people go into school and they don't know anything, and it makes it real hard to kind of conceptually, like you got to conceptually learn how to code, and that's tough to start, man. Like that's tough. Like just learn how to code from the start. Yeah, that's tough, man. I mean, but doing some projects over the summer will definitely help. So what projects would I do? If you're just learning to code, I would just keep it pretty simple. Like look online and look up like entry level coding projects and projects in whatever language. Like, you could build a calculator app, or you could build a to-do list app. Like keep it simple to kind of start. Or, and it depends on what you're building. Like, are you doing web development, like front end development? Are you doing back end development? Should you build like an API? Are you doing mobile app development? Should you build like a tiny app? So I would keep it simple and then build up from there. But I would give you a challenge, Kyan on TikTok. I would give you a challenge to by the end of the summer, challenge yourself to build a real product. No matter what you build during the summer, just build maybe 2 or 3 things first. At the end of the summer, I challenge you to build a real app that you put out for the world. So like you either post it, you buy a domain on GoDaddy and put it up on that domain and start letting people use it and try it out. Because that's where you start to learn stuff. That's when you start to see bugs. That's when you start people using it. It don't work right. You got to fix the bugs. Like you start to get into a software development life cycle once you build something real. When you build a little to-do app, you build it, you use it, you might post it on the internet, and then you're done with it. When you build something real that got some little, like people are using it and giving you feedback and saying, hey, what if you added this? What if you added that? Now you're getting into a development life cycle that will happen on a real job. And you're finding bugs, you're dealing with, like, you're doing problem solving. So I think if you do all that before you go into school, even let's say you do 3 apps over the total summer, you do 2 sort of like smaller apps, and then you do like a real app at the end of the summer. You do that and go into school, you'll be you'll be great, man. So anyway, bro, scraping. What's scraping? I mean, I know like data scraping. Anyway, yeah, beginners shouldn't use AI when building apps to learn. Yeah, that's I can see what you're saying. This is Jake. He said, hey, fellow SWE, how many years experience? I'm coming up on 11 years, man. So I'm an old dog. I'm starting to be an old dog in the game. 11 years professionally. I've learned how to code a little bit before that, but Yeah, it's like 11 years, coming up on 11 years. So how about you, Jake? How long you been doing it? Professional software engineer. Beginners should use AI when building apps to learn. Yeah, man. So I think you can use AI, but don't just use AI and just copy it and then just move on. You shouldn't do that. Now, how I think you should use it is use it to teach you. So you're coding something, you get stuck. And usually what you do when you get stuck, you're going to go Google it. And then you're going to get the answer and then you're going to copy it. And that's what we used to do historically. Well, now we have AI, so we can actually ask AI a targeted question about what we want instead of going to Google and searching through like search results and stuff like that. And so now I feel like when you ask AI, you need to be intentional. And I agree with you, Jake. You should not just be using it to blindly build an app. Like you should not. That's not going to help you learn. But what you should be telling it is, hey, I don't know what's wrong with this. Can you teach me? You can literally ask AI to teach you. Like you can tell it, teach me what's wrong with this. Tell me the answer, but also tell me why. And give me a additional problem or something. I don't know. Give me additional challenge to help reinforce it. Like use AI. If you're gonna use AI, use it to help you. Or like Jake said, just avoid it completely. If you think it's gonna like crutch you, then just avoid it. But I don't know. I kind of would be careful about avoiding it just because the industry is starting to be where like 2 years ago, all my coworkers started using AI to augment their work. So the developers that aren't using it, you start to notice because you're like the people that are using it, they can just code a lot faster. I remember when ChatGPT first came out, and I would just see my coworkers just randomly coming out with like extra projects and stuff and just extra stuff that it was like it's like out of nowhere. But it like the AI supercharges their workflow, and especially when you learn the basics and then you use AI on top of it. You can move at light speed because it's teaching you at the same time. You're learning stuff too. And so, anyway, that's a great comment, Jake. Like, yeah, be careful as a beginner using AI for sure. Like, just be very careful. Yeah, use it for condensed learning. Yeah, that's important. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I found that it crippled me during the learning process. So yeah, so just like Jake's saying, like for some, like just avoid it. Like, cause if it's hurting you, just avoid it. But once you learn, like Brittany's saying, once you on TikTok, once you learn the foundations, then you can kind of like start to slowly integrate it into your flow. But yeah, you gotta be careful with it for sure. Like, I mean, y'all, that's totally, man. Random question. This is from my boy Kenneth. Random question: when an AI agent messes up, generates insecure code, who do you think will be blamed for it? The person or the agent? Dang, that's a good question, man. When an AI agent messes up code, generates some insecure code. I just talked about this earlier, how like security is one of the biggest issues of like AI right now. Like it introduces security issues, it hallucinates, and it introduces some security hole because it doesn't have the context to know that it should have plugged this security hole. Sometimes it does. It can cover a lot of things, a lot of security holes, but just sometimes it just doesn't. And so anyway, he basically saying who will be blamed for it when this happens. Would the AI be blamed for it or the person? So there's always going to be a person behind the AI. So it may get to a point in the future where you have some CEO and he's just spinning off AI agents. But for the most part, it's always going to be what I see the future is that you'll have software development managers that are managing AI agents. Like that would be like probably the worst case. Like when you have like, instead of having a team of like 30 devs, you'll have like 2 software developer managers and they just running AI agents and they just reviewing the code that it spits out and then they send it to do new tasks and they're prompting it and all that. So who will be blamed for it is they would say, yeah, the AI messed up, but they would blame the human. The human's always going to get blamed to me. But that's a great question, though. I mean, it doesn't help anything to blame the AI agent. I mean, unless I mean, because I think these companies that are gonna, you could say in some cases maybe the company that is running the AI agent, because a lot of times these companies are gonna be paying other companies to use their AI agents. You can maybe blame them in certain instances, but I'm sure they're gonna have in their contracts like, hey, any code this AI thing generates, and any problems it generates, we're not responsible for that. Like that's just contract 101. So the person that's gonna be blamed is the person, because you should be reviewing the code, you should be reviewing what it's doing, you should be making sure that it's not any security incidents. And when I really think about it, in some sense, it might not even be, it'll be shared responsibility. It'll be like the software development manager or the human dev that's working with the AI agent or prompting it or whatever. But it might be the fault of the security team, because there might be a whole, like some companies have whole separate security teams away from the development departments. And so it may be partly a fault for them for not catching it. Like they should be catching stuff like that. So, but it's going to go to a human at some point. So at the end of the day, but that's a great question, man. That's a great question. My manager called me out on writing product requirements with GPT. Yo, that's Spin. He said, man, I get blamed for everything. My manager called me out for writing product requirements with GPT. Why? I don't understand that. I don't understand that. If you're prompting it, it really, and they're good, their requirements are coming out good, then I don't see the problem. If the product requirements are what he asked you to do, then I don't see the issue with that. I've literally talked to product managers that are writing the product requirements with AI. Like, if you're not doing it, you're getting left behind. Like, other people are going to be doing it, and whether they tell you they're doing it or not. So why would you? Yeah, I don't know, man. Why would you try to stop somebody from using AI? Like, everybody's going to be using it. So I just don't see what problem you would have with you using that. Like, if you're writing it with AI, you're reviewing it, then, and it's good, then that's fine. Now, if it sucks, if the AI spit out something stupid and you didn't review it and he don't like it, then yeah, I can see where I have a problem then. But if you're prompting, like you said, you're prompting it with very good prompting, then it's the same as you. I mean, you're just saving time on writing it yourself, but the thoughts are yours. So I don't know, man. Or at least you're reviewing it. So yeah, that's weird, man. You're responsible for the code that you commit in any project, right? So somebody's gonna be responsible for the products, and it's usually not gonna be AI. It's gonna be somebody. It's gonna be still some human intervention there. Now, yes, it's gonna be probably a lot less programmers, but it's gonna be some still there that need to manage. You know, when the AI spins out of control, AI can mess up the company. One thing people are not talking about is when these companies start hiring these AI agents, it's gonna be expensive. Like, you see the ChatGPT CEO dude, he just said, he was like, y'all saying please and thank you is costing us like billions of dollars or millions of dollars or something. So if it's expensive for us to say please and thank you to ChatGPT, then running AI agents 24/7 and all these companies going to be super expensive, and they're going to charge these companies a lot of money. So my point is that, you know, sometimes these companies just going to run out of money. Like, they're just not going to be able to pay to keep the AI agents going. They're going to run out of tokens or whatever for the month or whatever the case is. And so there's always going to be a human there, at least for the foreseeable future. And those are the ones that are going to get blamed because they didn't. That's going to be their job at that point, is to check for hallucinations, because the AI is still going to hallucinate. Even it gets better and better. It's going to get better at not hallucinating. But the hallucinations are still a big problem. Like, I think there was a stat out there. It was like, I don't know if this is a real stat, but it was like 30% on some of these models, some of these AI models, that the hallucinations still happen. So somebody needs to be still prompting it and covering these issues. And then don't even get me started on the security exploits. So yeah, anyway, I use AI to help with PowerShell scripts. Definitely need to review, test, and iterate. Right. Like, AI can supercharge your workflow. It can help you write stuff, but like, you still need to know what to do. Like, even when AI writes something for you, it's good to have it also. If you don't understand something that it wrote, just ask it to explain it for you. So yeah, I kind of think you'll. Let me make sure I'm watching all the channels. Yeah, Kenneth, thanks for answering. I'm about to get back to coding. Have a good stream. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate you joining for sure. And I definitely see you soon, man. Let's see if I'm missing anything. It's mostly on how can I get into a hedge fund. I can't help with that. I can't help with the hedge fund thing. Jake said, I kind of think you'll just have a lot of companies who just build private internal AI tools. Yeah, for sure. Rather than pay for AI agents. Yeah, I think some will. I think some will take, because there's like open source AI models. They'll probably take them, buy their own infrastructure and run it privately, so they don't have to. So their intellectual property is protected. Their code is protected. Yeah, that's true. They'll probably buy their own, but it's still expensive. Even when you buy, I mean, you do pay a premium if you use like other companies, like you use cloud services to get your AI, or you use other companies. You have fully managed. Always, even now, even today, using cloud infrastructure versus your own infrastructure, you're gonna pay a premium because they're fully managing it. You get more headache managing it yourself, though, and so I think a lot of companies, like you said, Jake, are going to self-manage. You know what I mean? He said, I built my own on top of open source. I mean, it's terrible, but it's there. Right. So I think a lot of companies are going to do that. I think some companies are going to do that and they're not going to like it, because I know a lot of companies, because if you're a business, if you say you make a video game mobile app, it has nothing to do with AI. It's just like Angry Birds or something. And you want to have AI agents writing this Angry Birds app for you. Your core business value proposition isn't how well your code. It's the Angry Birds app. It's the app itself. Your core business isn't how well you can manage AI tooling inside your company. And so a lot of these companies are going to stress themselves out if they try to like run their own models and stuff like that. They're having it. That's the issue that people are having today, why they're switching to cloud, because they want it to be fully managed by AWS, GCP, Azure, because they want to focus on what their unique value proposition is in their business and focus on those problems, versus like you can't even get to the problems with your game because you're having issues with like your internal AI agents going down because you're like running them on-prem. You running servers in the office and the power went out, or they overheated because you don't have proper cooling, or that AI stuff, man, it's crazy to run. Like, I mean, you gotta buy GPUs, you gotta cool it, you gotta have space in a building somewhere. Like, it's tough, man. I mean, like, I think some company, was it Oracle? I think it was Oracle. I heard it's bought like 400 million GPUs or something. And it's like, yeah, it's crazy, man. But anyway, yeah, I think some companies are going to do it, though, because some companies ain't going to have a choice. So you're right in the fact that some companies are going to have to run their AI stuff open source on their own servers, like, because it may be like government clearance stuff. It just may be something that they don't want in the cloud. So, or they don't want another company to have access to their data. So, yeah, that's a good point. AWS, or is it ASW? AWS for the Amazon Web Services. They block our AI in IntelliJ. What? Oh, so are they block your AI in IntelliJ? I just got a message that Will Smith joined. I know that ain't the real Will Smith, man. That'd be crazy. That would be nuts. Somebody just put their name as Will Smith. That kind of threw me off. I ain't gonna lie. All right, bro. I'm passing out. Nice to meet you. Not tuning again when I catch you. Yeah, man. Jake, definitely, man. Give a follow, man. I'll follow you back, man. And yeah, please join again, man. I love the comments for sure. Like, is coding easy to learn? I can answer that pretty simple. So this is Snow that asked this. It's not easy to learn, but I would say, like I said earlier, this is the best time to learn how to code because AI can help you learn. AI, like I think the first thing that came along that helped people learn to code was YouTube. And it sounds stupid, it sounds simple, but YouTube changed the game for learning stuff. It really did. Because you had, before that, you started off, you had books. You had school, you had books. You go to college to learn how to code, you go to a boot camp, they gave you books, you learn how to code. Then the internet came. That was a big step. You can look up stuff on the internet. Stack Overflow came. You can look up code, you can look up how to code, it helps you learn how to code. Then YouTube came, where these people are making videos every day teaching you how to code in their own unique ways that are better for certain people. Like, certain people have different learning styles. YouTube has so many unique ways. And then, with YouTube, with the internet, came more different platforms to learn how to code. Now you got AI. AI, you can literally tell it how to teach you. You can tell it to teach you in a certain style. You can tell it to teach you you can ask a very specific question. Like, right now is like the best time to learn how to code. Before AI completely just takes over everything, right now, like, you're in a sweet spot to learn how to code. So I would say it's not easy to learn how to code. It's tough still, because learning how to code is hard anyway. But now is like the easiest time, in my opinion, to me. So, like, yeah, people saying don't learn how to code because AI is going to take over. But now is the easiest time to learn how to code. So why not? Like, the AI is going to help you learn how to code. So yeah, that's weird, man. Mitchell, why are you saying, is it company blocking AI? Your company don't want you to use AI at work? Because I can see that. Because, yeah, I've seen where companies, especially early on, they don't want you to share their code with the AI because it's going to use it to train the AI. And so they're basically taking their intellectual property by taking the code and using it to train the AI, and it's getting in their servers. It's leaving their company and going to some other company's servers. So, they're more worried about us sending our proprietary code to a third grade server. Yeah, that's what it. Yeah, third party server. I understand, man. Yeah, because we had the same. I'm not gonna say what my company did, but I'll say that I heard other companies have like similar issues for sure. So, yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, I get it, cause that's what we were talking about earlier with Jake on here, that like that's why some companies are gonna run their own AI. They might not build their own AI, but they'll pull the open source AI and run it on their own servers, so it can't get outside of it can't get to third party. It'll always be first party that's running their models that are going. Oh, you said we did make our own LLM to look at our legacy code to help us out. Okay, yeah. So I'm glad I'm kind of making sense since y'all did do that. But yeah, man, it's just, if you can get an agreement with one of these bigger companies and use, I guess, so many great AI tools out there, I get it. It kind of sucks to like get blocked where you can't use it. So, or you have to like make it so anonymous, to try to like trick it to not let any of your proprietary information go out. Somebody said, due to AI, 20% of white collar jobs will be laid off soon. See, I can see that. And so the weird part is like, it's a lot of focus on programming. Like, everybody's like, AI is going to take over programming, but it's in close proximity to AI. So I understand that why it's an easy thing to pick on. But like any job, any white collar job, any job where you're, like a lot of knowledge-based jobs are at risk with AI. It's not just programming. Like any job where you're just kind of, you're doing like a knowledge-based job, you're creating reports, you're doing presentations, you're, creating something on a computer, like something that AI can do. It can generate reports, it can generate pictures, it can generate diagrams. It can do a lot of the jobs that we have out there that people normally have had to do. Some people live in spreadsheets. AI can make spreadsheets. It can crunch data and create spreadsheets. When I need to create a spreadsheet, it's a way, right? Like today, in the last 2 years, I used to have to create spreadsheets all the time to like put coding data in and just do stuff around my coding stuff, my software development stuff, like, or just organize information that we needed to do. Now I feel like if I don't use AI to create that sheet, I'm wasting my time. So that's where it's gotten to. Like, if I don't use AI to create spreadsheets, like, I'm wasting my time. Because why am I going and dragging the thing and putting the data in myself? There's no reason for me to do data input at this point. AI should be doing all my data input. My job is to focus on the code and stuff. So I shouldn't be spending 3 hours in a day dropping, copy and pasting numbers into a spreadsheet. I just use AI now. And so I think about somebody's job that their whole job was just, doing data input or putting numbers in spreadsheets or creating spreadsheets and sending them off. The AI is going to be able to do that stuff. I mean, it's already probably some services out there that took a lot of people's jobs even before the AI. Like automation takes a lot of jobs, just simple automation. When you throw AI on top of simple automation, then you get very efficient automation. So, anyway, that's a great point. Best certs for computer science. Best certs for computer science? I don't know. Like that's more IT. That's more certs are more a big thing in IT and security. Like security like technical security certifications, those are good to help you get jobs like as a security engineer or like a cybersecurity engineer. Or IT DevOps, like you can get certifications on AWS, cloud service providers like AWS and Google Cloud. You can get certs with them. For computer science and just coding, there's not a lot of valuable certs. There's a computer science degree, which is not really a cert, it's a degree. So that's very important. Like if you can get one of those, it does help you a lot. And I would say, if you want to say a cert, I would say a certificate from a boot camp. So like if you went to a reputable boot camp and got a certificate from them, it's like certification of completion. Then for coding, I think that would be the best for coding. I can't think of any, like, maybe somebody else in the chat jump in there, and if you know any coding certs that are important enough. But I know a lot of security certs are important. Like, but as far as like, I've never seen somebody come in that I've interviewed kind of touting any certs for coding. It's more or less if they like have security certs or cloud computing or like cloud architecture certs or something like that. Like you can go on AWS and go through their programs and get certifications right now. So those are good for cloud stuff. So, but yeah, for comp sci specifically, I wouldn't say any web development. Do I do any web development or yeah, let me see what Mitchell was saying. He said, yeah, they are using I think our LLM was through Microsoft because they allow us to send up our code and they use it to train their models, not use in their models. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's just getting interesting, man. These companies, it started off, these companies barely wanted to use AI. Now they're just going all in, man. They have no choice. They don't have any choice. Do you think certifications will help with do you think certifications will help with web development or just a good portfolio? I would think a web development boot camp certificate of completion would help with web development. But I don't know of any specific like things that we normally talk about as certs would help. But doing a boot camp in web development could help you. And a reputable one, like one that's got a good name on it, that's reputable. It's gonna cost you some money, but you get what you pay for, type of thing. Like I always tout the Georgia Tech one, and shoot, it was another one. There's a lot of big ones out there. If you just search, like there's a lot of big ones out there for sure. Let me see if I got any more questions I wanna go through. Let's see. Do you think I might have missed some questions? Let me see. Oh shoot. I like let's start an Angry Birds AI app I'm in. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, what I was saying with that is like companies now are like starting to make sure they're focusing, like they're crunching down. They're laying off people. They're getting down to the bottom line. And so they're starting to focus their efforts toward whatever their core business, like their unique business proposition is. And so you gotta, like, I had to learn this the hard way. You can't do everything well. Sometimes you gotta pay other people to do stuff. If I'm making a company that's an Angry Birds app, I want my developers, I want my sellers, I want my marketers, I want my product manager, I want everybody in my company focusing on making Angry Birds the best app it can be, as far as its features, as far as how it works, as far as it not going down, as far as this and far as that. I don't want all my people worried about like the AI agent servers going down. So a lot of times what companies do, they'll just pay another company to fully manage that kind of stuff for them, because our unique value is not in that. It's in the Angry Birds. It's in the application. It's in the unique. That's our unique business offering. And so where a lot of companies mess up is they say, let's build everything ourselves. Like, let's build our AI infrastructure ourselves. Let's not use ChatGPT. Let's build our own AI thing. And that isn't your business. Your business is Angry Birds. Your customers don't care that you built your own AI thing or you used, so like you have to focus on what your actual what the value is in your business. And a lot of businesses mess that up. And that's why they, in my opinion, why they go out of business. And it's not even about businesses, but sometimes we do that. Sometimes we do that as just individuals. Like when we're trying to figure out what we want to learn and we're trying to start our own businesses, our own apps. Like there's no, like people ask me, are you getting into building AI? For the stuff that I build, my mobile apps that I build and put on the store, I integrate with ChatGPT. I integrate with Microsoft, Gemini, Google Gemini, and Microsoft Copilot. Like I don't have the value of my app isn't for me to build my own AI agent. The value of my app is what the app is supposed to do. Like it's individual. Now, if I have an app that has to do something special with AI, like that these other services can't do, then now I need to build AI myself. But that's typically not the type of app that I'm building. So anyway, I hope that makes sense. How do you make money from putting apps on the App Store? I have an app ready to go on the App Store now. That's a great question. I'm glad you asked that one, because I think that's something that ain't got asked tonight. So there's multiple ways to make money from an app on the App Store. So first way, you can charge for the app right out. Like you can basically, there's free apps and there's paid apps. So you can just, through the App Store, whether it's Google or Apple, you can just charge for your app 99 cents, $2, $3, $4, whatever you want to set it to. For somebody to buy your app right out, it got to be a really good app. Like it's got to be a really good sale, a really good reason for them to buy the app without even trying it out first. So that's tough. But some apps are able to do it. Like if it really makes sense, like people will straight up buy your app. Like if they can tell the value of it, there's just certain apps out there that people just buy, utility apps that people just buy instantly. The second option, another option is make the app free and then charge for things inside of the apps, consumables, digital goods inside of the app, like some consumable thing. So that can mean like if it's a game, that can mean like tokens inside the game, like to play the game every day. You know how some games are. Play the game every day. You get a free token every day. If you want to play the game more, you got to buy more tokens. Those consumable digital things. The app stores usually takes a cut of that, like 30%, 10% if you're a smaller developer. And I think both apps take about the same amount. But yeah, so they take a cut of that, but you can do that. The other thing is you can sell stuff, like it depends on what kind of app you got. So like let's say your app is like Amazon app. Amazon, they're selling, they have a mobile app component. They have a mobile app you can use, but they're actually selling physical things in the world. Your app you build could be selling t-shirts or selling something in the world. Like it could be doing that. Like that could be what helps make you money. The other thing is subscriptions. So like you can have a pro version of your app and you can have them either pay one time to get the pro version, lifetime, like maybe a lot more money, $20 or something, or $100 for the lifetime, or you can have them pay monthly to have the subscription while they pay monthly. That's what I did with my most recent app. Is I have a subscription like for the pro version. And I have consumables too. You can pay one time to unlock certain features for a lifetime, or you can pay for the subscription to have all the pro features, but you don't have to pay for each individual one. But as long as you're paying every time a new feature comes out, you just already have it. And so that's one way. And then I think the last way outside of all of those things is ads. So you can have a free app and then have ads in the app, where like every time you get an ad impression, you can make them watch videos. That gives you more money. Like you say, if you got a game and every time a game ends, a sub game within that game ends, you can make them watch an ad. You can make them watch an ad to get more tokens. Ads are usually considered like one of the worst ways, but you know, they keep the app free. So, you know, it's a trade-off. It depends. You just have to really depends on what your app is. The one suggestion I give you is make sure the system you put in place, you're able to tweak it. Like you're able to easily tweak the price and test and what method works. Because like you may realize a certain price point, you may have to find a sweet spot with the price point. If you're running ads, you might have to find a sweet spot with how many ads to run before you start to alienate people. So yeah, that was a great question. I hope that that helps. I know I went through it fast, but maybe I'll go do like a deeper live or video on that one day. Yeah, I'll probably answer like a few more questions and then I'll probably hop off. But yeah, this is really good. Like there's so many good questions on here. Yeah, Mitchell, man, I appreciate you joining, man. I hope you connect with me so I can follow you and see you again on here. Like you had some great stuff you shared. I appreciate that. How often do you look up stuff for coding? That's a great question. All the time. So when I was first learning, you know, it's before AI, you know, it's mostly Google. So like I would Google code if I needed codes, copy and paste it. I would Google how to, you know, what syntax, like how to do certain things and have it teach me. When YouTube came along, I would use YouTube. I mean, even in the day-to-day job, don't let developers fool you. They look up stuff every day in the day-to-day job. The only place you can't look up stuff is the interview. But in a day-to-day job, you're expected to look up what you need. It's weird if you didn't look up what you need. And so then now that AI came along, now we can look up stuff at light speed. You don't have to like send something to Google, look through Google results, ask something to YouTube and look through YouTube's results and find the best video and scroll to the part you want. You can literally ask AI exactly what you need. You can tell it, how do I do this very specific thing? Tell me exactly how to do it. Teach me how to do it. Explain why you're doing it this way. All that kind of stuff. And so in a real development job, you always going to be looking up stuff. That's a constant. Like, so I don't know if anybody's ever saying that, but I think it is a conception that like that coders have a lot of stuff memorized. They do, but like it's expected in a normal job that you're going to go on Google and look up stuff all the time. You know, it helps to have stuff memorized, but there's no, at least in the programming jobs I've been in, there's no kind of expectation to do that. And now they're expecting you to use AI. They're expecting you to know how to augment your work. You should be at least twice as productive as you were before. It's kind of scary. It's like if you're not using AI as a software engineer, you're getting behind because your coworkers. When AI first came out, my coworkers was like, I knew they was using it because everybody's output increased. You know, you just have to be careful about, you can't let the AI, you know, you have to follow your company's rules. You got to anonymize it. You can't give out your company's proprietary information, but you know, it is what it is. You just got to kind of follow the rules. But yeah, as a rising junior with no internship, what should I do this summer? So somebody just asked that earlier, man. You should be doing projects, and I would consider, man, it depends on your time, and I don't want to, you know, put nothing on you that you can't do. But I would, you say you're a junior. So that means, yeah, you're in your third year. Or you either going into a junior year or you're coming out of your junior year. Either one, you've been there for a little while. So I'm going to challenge you. I ain't going to say what you should. I'm going to challenge you to do at least 2 to 3 projects this summer. Like I told the other guy. 2 of the projects should just be learning projects to help you grow. So like that may mean building some sort of app that you want to build, or build some sort of web app or mobile app that you want to build. Whatever I don't know what you may be in a different spot of tech. Whatever your spot of tech is, build a project for yourself to learn. And then that third project, I challenge you to build a real product that you actually put out for the world to use. You productize it, quote unquote. You actually, you can charge for it. Like you make it a real product. You go through the process of making a real product. You think about how to make money from it. If you're going to make money, if it's going to be free, you at least think about why it's going to be free. You put it out there. You have people use it. You get feedback, even if it's family and friends. You fix bugs. You find issues. The reason I'm saying to build a real product, because you can put that on your resume in the future. You can say, especially if you actually, the better than that is finding a company to do that for and get them to write a contract and say, hey, you're even if it's free, I'm contracting you to do this work for me, to build this thing for me. You can put that on your resume as like, I worked for this contract company. I worked as a contractor for this company for 2 months over the summer or whatever. And I built this. And these are the list of things that I learned, and these are the list of the responsibilities and things that I built for them. That can go on your resume, and it will help you learn. And the thing I was going to say is the thing that is helping you learn is the software development cycle. So we all can learn to become coders. We can learn the foundation. We need to become good coders. But what's going to be more important going forward in the world of AI and how it integrates with coding and software development is being a full circle software engineer and software developer, and learn how to problem solve and fix bugs and think about products, because that's where it's going. That's what's going to be. Those are going to be people that win. And so by building your own product and making it a real product, you get experience. Because when you build these little side projects, I ain't gonna say little, because I build them all the time still anyway. But what happens is they're good for your learning, but you kind of, after they help you learn how to code better and help you learn about how this technology works that you're using. But after that, it kind of falls off. The learning falls off because you get rid of the project. You just leave it sitting somewhere. You don't touch it anymore. But something that you actually working on and iterating helps you learn the software development process. It helps you learn how to iterate, how to implement new features. When there's bugs, how to deal with bugs. When you find that your app kind of sucks to work on, when you try to add stuff to it, it teaches you how to refactor your code in order for it to be more maintainable and sustainable. It helps you run into scaling issues. If you start to have a lot of users on it, then you're like, oh shoot, now it's slowing down, or now it keeps crashing. Like, it helps you really learn. When an employer comes in, they want to see that you have the skills of like software development and not just simple coding. So that's a long-winded answer, man, but I hope that that can help you. Yeah, appreciate it. How do you find projects to build? I mean, that's a great question, man. I would look for stuff in your everyday life and stuff that you're interested in. It depends on what level you're at. If you're just trying to learn very early on, I would look for side projects. I can't remember what they call it. What do they call it? Like learning projects, like calculator app or to-do app, just to learn how to build an application if you're at that stage. But if you're at a stage where you built those kind of small, kind of like demo apps, basically like you go on YouTube, somebody's building a demo app and you kind of copy how they build it. After you get past that, now it's time to start looking at stuff you're interested in building. And I would say the quickest you can get to building a real productized app, even if it fails, your point isn't to build the next Facebook or to build the next, to be a millionaire with this app. But you want to build something that has some weight to it, that actually goes through the full software development pipeline. Like I said, like it makes you think about bugs. It makes you think about iterations. It makes you think about source control with your code and like knowing how to go back to older versions of the code. It makes you think about getting feedback. It makes you think about product requirements of like what this thing should do. It makes you think about use cases of like different users of your app and what they have to go. Like, it just makes you think more as a software developer. But that's kind of off the top of your questions, like of how you find products. I mean, I would look at real problems you have how you find projects. I would look at real problems that you have in your life and try to solve those problems with the app, some sort of solution. It could be an app, it could be a service, it could be, whatever. Look on social media has a lot of ideas of what you can build. I mean, you can DM me. I got a list of ideas that I'm probably gonna share one day of like apps that I want to build that I never had time to build, and I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm just gonna share them out to everybody, just as a post to help people find stuff to try to build. Is software engineering still in demand? Profession for sure. It's still in demand, but the market is kind of bad right now as far as in tech industry in general. So I guess, I don't know, in demand might be a strong word for it right now in this market. Are there still jobs? People still hiring? Yes. Are there a lot of companies laying off right now? Yes. I guess the better question I would answer is like, is it still worth learning software engineering? Is it still worth learning how to code and becoming a software engineer? 100% yes. Like learning that skill, learning how to code, that's not going away in my opinion. The people that learning skills is still important. Like software developers are still going to be needed, even if they're heavily assisted by AI. There's still going to be some level of software engineering, human software engineering that's needed. Now it's going to become more niched. You're probably going to have to become more of a problem solver. You're probably going to have to learn how to, not only the foundations of learning how to code, but you're going to have to learn how to code with AI and learn how to prompt AI to code and learn how to review AI's code after you learn those initial fundamentals. But it's still something valuable to get into, in my opinion. So that's just how I feel about it. Some other people will probably say no, like coding is dead and AI is gonna take it all over. But if AI takes over coding, AI gonna take over everything. It already took. If it got to coding, it already took over all these other white collar jobs. So I mean, we got more to worry about than coding at that point. So I don't like to just use people using what's happening now is people using this AI thing as an excuse to be like, I'm not going to learn how to code. And so that's just not a good excuse, because you could say that about anything. So right now, Elon has this company. He's building these robots. They're powered by AI, robotics. They can go in your house and clean up your house. They can go cook something for you. So if I'm an aspiring chef right now, should I let his robots scare me from learning how to cook? I could say, well, I mean, robots gonna be cooking for us every day in the future, so why should I learn how to cook? I could let that scare me out of learning how to cook, or I could just go ahead and learn how to cook and make the money while I can until that happens, or I can do it and it doesn't happen like I think it's gonna happen, because we're all just guessing, right? We don't, it hasn't happened yet. We don't know what's gonna happen. So, anyway, I'm kind of venting with that now. But yeah, GG says it's cooked, man. Hey, man, I get it. It ain't looking good, man. It ain't looking good with the AI. It ain't looking good. But I mean, what choice do we have? Like, I keep getting that. I got a question like 4 times tonight, about the AI and should I learn how to code still? What choice do we have with any profession at this point when it comes? See, people thinking about AI, ChatGPT. They're not thinking about when you combine the AI with robotics, with robots. I mean, you can have the things driving trucks. You can have the things delivering Uber. You can have the things self-driving cars doing stuff. You can have the things cleaning your house. You can have the things cooking. They can cook at restaurants. You don't need servers. The things can come serve you food. So, like, we can't just throw up. We can be scared about AI and concerned or whatever, but we can't just throw up our hands and say we're not going to learn any skills anymore because we're not going to use. I say we shouldn't use it as an excuse to just stop building our skills. That's the only option. We don't really have no other option. Like, what other option do we have? So that's what I say. I mean, yeah. But anyway, yeah, we're all prompt engineers now. Yeah, I mean, I think that's where it's going for software engineers. I still think you need to learn the foundations, like of how to code and software engineering, because you need to know how to notice when AI hallucinates. It still does a lot of hallucinations, and that can put your company in a bad spot. AI can hallucinate to the point where you open up a security hole and cost your company a lot of money, or it costs your company a lot of money. And if you wasn't watching it and reviewing the code and prompting it properly to fix it, you will be on the hook. So if you're like the prompt engineer or whatever. So yeah, it's so hard finding a job. Yeah, it's tough, man. The tech industry in general, it's not just coders. The tech industry in general, man, it's in a shambles right now. Like, I'm hearing about layoffs every week. I got friends who were laid off that I used to work with and stuff. It's bad, man. It's rough. I have the fear of getting laid off. So all the tech companies aren't doing too well. It's hard to find jobs. So it's in a bad place, man. But I have faith that it's gonna turn around. I hope the AI revolution actually helps it turn around some. But as these companies start making more money and they start to, I hope that they start hiring more. But that's my hope. And one of my hopes is that paying for these AI agents is pretty expensive. Running AI is expensive. Like ChatGPT is like, the guy was talking about how saying please and thank you to ChatGPT wastes them like millions of dollars every month or something. So if we can't even say thank you and please, then running AI agents 24 hours for all these companies, once it gets up to scale, is going to cost a lot of money. So, it costs a lot of money to hire people too. But at the same time, running these AI agents, cloud bills. It's going to be all cloud bills. You're either paying money to these current cloud companies, which companies already complain about expensive cloud bills. They already complain about that. So they're also going to keep complaining when they got to pay these AI companies for AI agents, or they got to pay these cloud companies for their AI agents. And so I think the AI revolution is going to hit a wall. It's a bubble, like they always call it a bubble that's going to pop with new things like this, with revolutions like this. I think the AI bubble gonna pop, and I think when the AI bubble pops, that's when we're gonna start to come back to our senses a little bit with the job hiring market, with the tech industry market. When that bubble pops, because I think it's too many AI companies, too many AI tools. I think that bubble is gonna pop, and it's gonna be a lot less and more focused. And I think that's when they're gonna realize, like, hey, we can't spend all this money on these AI agents that we're gonna have a lot. We're not gonna hire as many devs as we did before. I do see that as a reality, but I see it as a little bit more of a level set. So it just means we just need to we gotta tighten up, man, and we gotta learn more skills. You gotta be more skilled than we were before. I think, and you gotta be able to use AI to your advantage, and kind of like get with it or get kicked out. Unfortunately, it kind of sucks. But yeah. Anyway, GG said it's not popping something made NVIDIA's chip 1,000 times better than supercomputer from 2018. It's not popping TS made. I think I kind of understand what you're saying. Deployed some to the cloud, AI to the cloud, and had it on a loop and ran billions of times. Dang. Who did that? AI free third space is going to be a thing. Yeah. And so you're talking about it. Somebody deployed some AI to the cloud and had it on a loop running billions of times. Yeah. And was on the hook for the cloud bills. Yeah. I mean, I know companies complaining about that cloud bills, just simple cloud bills. If you running AI agents super expensive. So running AI in general is super expensive. So if you're trying to do it at scale at a company, like, it's gonna cost a lot of money. And so it's not gonna be this like, oh, we're gonna replace all these devs with AI and we're gonna save all this money. Yeah, you're gonna save some money because it's like more expensive to hire a human, but it's not just gonna be full savings, and you're not gonna get. The AI is going to be better, and it's going to make less mistakes in some sense, like simple coding mistakes, but it's going to make more mistakes in like hallucinations. So, where it thinks it's doing the right thing, but it really doesn't have the context that a human would have. So, who knows where this thing going to go? All I know is, man, I was talking to my coworkers about it a couple days ago. And all we can do is just keep going and keep learning. Like, we just have to just keep going with the punches of just how this thing is evolving. You got to kind of keep driving your skills up with technical skills or whatever your industry is. And you got to keep learning AI. And that's all we can really do for right now. But to like kind of throw up our hands and just be like, ain't worth learning nothing no more because AI is going to take over everything. I don't think that's a good solution, man. Hey, y'all let me know. It don't seem like a good solution to me. Just throw up my hands and don't learn nothing. Don't gain any skills or anything because AI is going to take over. What are you going to do? Like, how is that going to be a good solution long term? I don't see how it is. So, I mean, either we're just doomed. That's cool. It's cool to like come up and talk all this doom and gloom, but that's just a fun conversation to talk about and laugh about at a party. Yeah, it's all done, but like in reality, like we all trying to get out here and make a living. So we gotta make moves, man. We gotta try to be well informed and make the best moves we can. So anyway, I think that's definitely I mean, hey man, the whole conversation been about AI, or a lot of it has, because it's just so critical at this point. What's up, Rasbies? Appreciate you coming back. But yeah, it's 12:19, man. I think I'm probably gonna get ready to hop off of here. I might answer like if anybody got like a last question or something like that. Is it possible to be a data scientist and cybersecurity at the same time? I don't think so. I mean, it's possible. I don't think so. Those career fields are just a lot of times they're in like different departments at most companies. And I think you're going to stretch yourself too wide out to try to learn both. I would learn one and then pivot into the other if you wanted to. I don't think it's possible to be a data scientist and cybersecurity at the same time. Like, there is some overlap, but like those fields are like usually in different, they're in different departments, they have different skill sets. You get different certifications and have to learn different things for cybersecurity that you don't really have to learn as a data scientist. There's some data security in being a data scientist, but it's not on the level of cybersecurity, and vice versa. Like the big data that you'd have to deal with as a data scientist, and like, a lot of data scientists now are deeply involved in AI because AI runs off of training like on large language models and large data sets and managing big data and getting something insightful from it. So like you're going in a totally different direction. So I don't think you can do those at the same time. They're both great careers though, and they're both pretty AI. They're both more AI proof than a lot of other jobs in tech, I'd say. Like being a data scientist, you can be really close to AI with that. And in cybersecurity, AI has been known so far to kind of let a lot of security issues through. And so kind of that's one thing a company still needs, because security issues cost companies millions of dollars all the time. I'm sure y'all get emails from y'all companies that y'all, like your phone company or like your internet company or some company you're using, where they had some data leak. And now they got a civil lawsuit where they got to pay out all this money, and so, or they literally get held hostage or whatever, and you have to pay some hacker some money or something. So, yeah. Anyway, is the tech industry getting better or worse? Oh man, that's a tough question, man. I'd probably say right now it's on the downswing. It's getting worse. But I have optimism that it could be getting better. When you say the tech industry, like, yes, because the job market is so bad that it's hard to say that it's getting better right now. Now, I would say that right now in the tech industry is the sweet spot because AI hasn't completely taken over everything, and AI can still supercharge you. Now is the best time. If you want to pivot to another spot in tech, use AI to learn. Especially if you already got a technical foundation, you can learn really fast with AI right now. Let's say you want to build a technical application. You can learn how to build your own app really fast with AI now. Like you can learn you can do so many things that you couldn't do before with AI. So now it's a sweet spot. So it's a double-edged sword. Like the tech industry, as far as jobs, is kind of garbage right now. But as far as opportunity and being able to supercharge yourself and do different things, it's a good opportunity to learn for sure. What way is the job market bad? So what's happening is it's kind of like a mixture of perfect storm. Like we had the pandemic sent a lot of people home. When it sent people home, companies had to start relying more on tech. So you had a lot of companies, that would typically be doing stuff in person. The world got shut down. Now these tech companies are getting used more. People are at home on their phones more. People are working from home. They're buying more technical communication stuff. They're buying more technical products to support them being stuck at home, whatever the case is. So these tech companies in 2021, 2022 just boomed. They just went crazy. They had to hire all these people. They're like, yeah, our companies are doing so great because everybody's at home and they're spending all these money on our products. Like Peloton's one example. It's a mix of a tech company and a workout company or whatever. But like workout equipment company. But yeah, they boomed in the pandemic, and then as soon as people were at home and needed to be on their bikes, they weren't going to their gyms anymore. And as soon as the pandemic ended, all these people started going back outside. They started going back to work in real places. Kids went back to school. People just going back to regular lives. These tech companies had overhired. Companies like Peloton had overspent on their tech and stuff. And now we're still reeling from that issue. And the job market sucks because these companies overspent. They still haven't rebounded. They're still doing layoffs. And it doesn't matter how big they are. You see Microsoft laid off a couple weeks ago again. And so even these big companies are laying off. So that's what happened. Do I think it's going to turn around? I do think it will turn around. Will it go back to the way it was in 2021 and before? Probably not. It's going to evolve into something new because the other end of that perfect storm is AI kind of came in right at that right time. And now companies are saying, well, instead of going back to the way we went before, let's not hire no new devs. Let's try to supercharge the devs we have to use AI, and let's start to kind of supplement them with AI agents and stuff. And so it's kind of a perfect storm where the future, you can't not be a little afraid, but at the same time, I still have optimism that it's going to turn around. We really don't have any choice. I mean, either we're all going to be out of a job and be destitute or whatever, or we're going to continue to build our skills and we're going to find a place for us. Just like when the internet came, people was thinking it was the end of the world. Some people they were like, hey man, we're not going to be able to, before the internet, people had to read books and call each other, and to get information was a lot different back then. And a lot of companies got overtook by the internet. And like when things evolve, a change causes things to get overtook, but a lot of times that same stuff that gets displaced, but then it just kind of lands in a different spot. And so people were scared of the internet. They thought that the internet was just gonna ruin everything. And so I know AI is different than the internet, but I'm hopeful that it'll be a similar reaction, but we'll see how it goes. So WGU offers a degree emphasis on C# or Java. Dang, I didn't know they did. They had emphasis on a certain language. Should I do C# or Java? Which should I do? I want to work with AI eventually. Oh man. I mean, I'm a proponent of C# over Java because C# came after Java, and I feel like Microsoft, they created C#. I feel like they took the best parts of Java and kind of left the worst parts, like the verbosity in Java that Java has and some of the kind of weird nuances that it has that aren't as readable and clear. But Java's a great language too. But they're both object-oriented. They're both statically typed. They're really similar languages because C# basically, Microsoft basically made their own version of Java. So I don't think you can go, to answer your question, I don't think you can go wrong with doing an emphasis on either one. Because you want to work with AI eventually, I would give the nod to Java, and I know I just talked a bunch of junk about Java, but I would give the nod to Java because C# is Microsoft specific. Java is less and more agnostic and less like company driven. C# you're gonna have to use it with a lot of Microsoft stuff. Like it's gonna tie you into a lot of Microsoft stuff. And so like when I learned C#, I was working in a almost full Microsoft shop, like Microsoft tech stack. And so I would learn Java because that would, if you're gonna go into machine learning, that's gonna help you, pivot to have more exposure to like not be tied to one company or I would say one tech stack of a company. So yeah, I would say Java. And then, you're probably gonna have to eventually learn Python and start to go to different languages. So just become more agnostic, but I would say if they're giving you a choice to focus on a language, then I would say Java in that case. But you can't go wrong with either one, man. C# gonna be nicer to work with to me, but Java is gonna probably be more beneficial for you in that case. Have you done any projects with machine learning? So I'm stuttering and everything, but my stance is I'm not building any machine learning stuff myself. But I will utilize it in my projects. And so I built a mobile app that it was a doctor's app that would scan part of it. It was like you could book doctor's appointments on it. And part of that was like you could scan your insurance card and find out which doctors accepted your insurance card. And part of that was what's called OCR, optical character recognition, that use machine learning under the hood to help it recognize characters and help it like figure out what words were on it and all that stuff, and then help it find and then I would find whatever insurance company it matched up to, that insurance card, and then I would give them the list of doctors that accepted their insurance. And so that was one instance when I kind of indirectly use machine learning. I also built apps where I integrated with ChatGPT's API. So my app would call their API to ask some sort of query to ChatGPT, and then it would give whatever response I wanted it to give. But as far as me building my own, I have really no desire to get into machine learning myself. I just want to be really familiar with the tools, and I want to be really familiar with using the tools in my apps, like to make my apps better, my stuff that I do better. And I want to, use AI to amplify my workflow. But as far as like working on AI, I don't think it's fun to work on, honestly. Like, I think it's valuable, but I think doing like big data work and like building large language models, working with large language models and doing like machine learning algorithms and stuff like that and AI algorithms, it's not interesting development work to me. So I'd rather somebody else work on that stuff and then I use their services as a third party. But that's just my opinion. I know a little bit of Python. Is that the best to learn for AI? Dr. Deal, yeah, for sure, Python. So you're on the right track. I don't have to say much about that. Python is the language to learn, initially at least. I mean, and probably the most important language to learn, at least to start, if you want to get into AI. And I'm not trying to like stop nobody from getting into AI development specifically. Like, that's probably one of the most safest jobs you can get into, honestly, at this point. It's just not for me, but yeah, I think it's one of the most safest jobs you can get into. How to make the most money without dealing with coding interviews. All right, man, I'm going to give a couple little tips and then I'm probably going to get on off here. But there's interviewing without whiteboards. So just Google interviews without whiteboards. This ain't gonna answer your question fully, but this will give you a list of big companies, tech companies that hire without doing coding interviews, like or LeetCode style interviews. Now they're still gonna give you some sort of interview. You might have to code, but it's not gonna be as crazy as these like trivia style LeetCode interviews. It's gonna be like sometimes you won't code at all, but sometimes you'll you might have to do a little bit of coding. But this list that they made, hiring without whiteboards, a list of companies that won't do whiteboard interviews. It's a symbol for CS, like computer science trivia questions that are associated with bad interview practices. So why I'm giving you this is because I think that's the question that you're really asking, Rock, is you're asking, you're basically asking, like, you don't want to deal with the bad interview process. I don't think you probably don't mind coding in an interview. You just don't want to code in this bad interview, like when they do it kind of in the negative leak code way. And so, yeah, man, look this up. I used it before for some of these companies. It's pretty up to date, at least when I used it. It's a lot of companies in here. Start applying to these companies. Just go down the list, apply for ones you like. Apply for a lot of them, like as many as you can, because the industry is kind of crazy. But you'll probably have better interview processes here. But you're not going to make any money without doing some sort of interview for sure. Like, you're going to have to do some. They still going to be challenging interviews. But I hope this helps you, man, without having to do these stupid leak code interviews. I still subscribe. I still will do them. I don't like them, but I still learn how to do them. If you got on my live last time, I was doing them. So it is what it is, man. I just deal with it. But I understand, man. I get it, man. But at least this hiring without whiteboards is how you can get around these leak code interviews. They got a bunch of companies. It's heavily updated. I've used this before. I've got interviews from these companies, and I can confirm they don't ask leak code, trivia style coding interview questions. And these companies, these are, some of these are pretty big. I think, I feel like, like Airtable's a big company, big tech company. I mean, there's so many on here. I can't find the big ones, but there was some large ones on here. And so these companies pay good money. Like, these are not like boo-boo companies, man. These are like regular companies that pay competitive rates. So I got interviews from some of these back in the past. So I hope this helps you, man. And I'm glad you asked that, because I think that'll help some other people. T-Rod, what's going on, man? What's going on? Appreciate you jumping in. Do you know Python? That's the crazy thing is I don't know Python, man. I really don't. I never use Python. I should. I might actually jump on here one day and do like a crash course Python, just like in front of everybody, just to do a live on it. I think it'd be cool, actually. So, but yeah, I actually never used Python. In my career, I started with like JavaScript. No, I didn't start with JavaScript. I started with C++. C++ was my first language. I learned it in college. Then I moved on to C#, which I was like, dang, C# is really nice. Then I took this class where I learned like 7 programming languages, but I don't count that because we only spent like 2 weeks on each language. But I learned a lot of stuff like Ruby on Rails and just Ada and other types of languages. Just learning different paradigms of different languages. Functional programming versus like object-oriented and all kind of stuff like that. Then I learned C#. I think I said that one. Then I learned JavaScript because I started building websites for the school. And then I learned C#, which is like one of my favorite languages behind JavaScript probably. And then I learned Java. And then I learned Swift and I learned Objective-C because I started building mobile apps back in the day, iOS. Then I learned Swift because Apple eventually switched to Swift programming language. Then, whatever I learned, I'm missing some languages. I said PHP, right? Yeah, and then I learned PHP because I was doing like WordPress stuff, and I was starting to build dynamic apps with like PHP early in my career. And so I think those are my languages that I learned. I really haven't had to jump too far outside of that. Because what happens, JavaScript just went crazy, man. When I first started, JavaScript was not where it is today. Like JavaScript, now you can run it on a server. You can build mobile apps with it. So I end up now today, I use JavaScript for almost everything. I build my mobile apps using React Native and JavaScript. I build my web services mostly if I'm not using PHP, which I know is weird to use for web services. If I'm not using PHP, I use JavaScript and Node.js to build and Express.js to build my web service. So I'm doing my web services in JavaScript. I'm doing my mobile app in JavaScript. So I'm doing my web app in JavaScript because I'm using React or Vue.js or some other framework. So it's like you almost can like stick to JavaScript almost exclusively and build almost anything. You build a full stack service, like a full stack product. And so, yeah, is JavaScript still the most used language in the world? Yeah, I think it is. I think TypeScript might have over jumped it, man. I think. Was it like GitHub language popularity? I think this was it. Yeah, okay, JavaScript's still number one. It was some kind of... Why is this sideways? What the heck? I don't think this is right. It was like... Oh, maybe Python is? Y'all can look this up, man. I'm trying to find... It was like a little chart. Oh, this one, yeah. Okay, this is where I was. Why is the little... Where's the... Where is the languages at, though? I'm not trying to look through this whole thing, man. Let's download this image. All right. So Python, I think this is, 2024. So Python jumped over JavaScript. Dang. And I guess that's with the rise of AI. So like, I answered that earlier to somebody. Like, what do they want to learn if they want to try to get into AI? Python is it. So it looks like Python been rising up. I'm surprised, actually. But JavaScript, like I said, JavaScript was like the top for forever. And then TypeScript jumped up. I knew that because TypeScript probably is going to overstep JavaScript eventually. And TypeScript is actually a superset of JavaScript. So you actually can write any JavaScript in. When you write TypeScript, you can write any JavaScript in it because it's just a superset of that language. It just adds more to that language. And similar to like C# is like a superset of C++, and superset of C. I think C++ superset of C, and so on and so on. So it's not an uncommon concept. But that T-Rob just said that TypeScript is only a branch of JavaScript. Yeah. So, I mean, basically you can kind of combine them together and say that it's not really overtaking it. Because when I first saw this, I was like, why are they putting TypeScript in here as a separate language? But, I mean, if C#, we've always known C# and C++ as their own languages. And they're also supersets of C. So it's like... And I don't know. Actually, I don't know if C# is a superset of C. I think it is. But I know C++ is for sure. And so if we call in C++ a real separate language, then it's I got mad at it. I didn't want to do it, but it's like almost like I gotta give TypeScript its own spot if I'm gonna give C++ its own spot. You know, and I've been doing that for years. It's like it's its own language. So yeah, it's kind of tough to put TypeScript up there like that, but on its own. But yeah, it is. And I don't have a problem with TypeScript, but I still just love vanilla JavaScript too. Like I think you can do a lot with that. You don't always need TypeScript, but I know some people are like TypeScript everything, but I'm actually, can kind of mix it up. I'm cool with that. So yeah, Python will jump to the top spot though, man. That's interesting. I actually didn't know that until just now. I didn't realize that. This is 2024, but I'm sure it's about the same. 2025, because I mean that was 5 months ago, so probably ain't changed too much since then. I bought a Code Academy. Yeah, Code Academy. I was trying to remember Code Academy membership. I was trying to remember that to tell somebody to use that resource. I agree. Code Academy is great. Just something relevant. I mean, something reputable, like that you've heard of. It's kind of sad to say it like that. There's a lot of stuff you haven't heard of that's really good, but especially when you're trying to get a certificate or something out of something, I think they give stuff out. Like, you want to find, like, boot camps especially, like, you want to find reputable things. And I know Code Academy got a good reputation, or a decent reputation. So, I how hard is it to catch up with new technology and new information to stay and not get laid off. Yeah, I mean, programming, man, and getting into tech, any tech field, like it's a constant learning battle. Like you got to constantly learn. Like it's a lot of devs that's resistant to learning AI and using it, but you have to, because your coworkers are doing it. So if you're not using AI and they're working twice as fast as you, you're going to eventually fall to the bottom, unless you were just already a 10x dev to begin with. But then you might probably overworking yourself. So why are you overworking yourself and everybody else ain't? You know, so it's kind of like you kind of have to keep up with the times. But like how hard is it? Yeah, it's difficult. You can't learn everything. You can't know everything. The best you can do is just try to, you know, I use this site here. It's called TLDR. It's like keep up with tech in 5 minutes. And it's not the best way to keep up with things, but it at least lets you know in general. You kind of want to become T-shaped. And what T-shaped mean is you want to know a lot of things broadly across the top of the T. And then wherever you need to, you want to go like down the middle of the T. You want to be able to go deep at uncertain things. You want to be able to talk about a lot of things broadly, but when you need to, you want to know enough broadly so that when you need to jump down deeply into something, you know where to jump down and you know where to, okay, now I need to go research this thing because I need to learn this AI thing for something I need to build at work. So now I need to go super deep in this. And that keeps you from trying to get in the trap of trying to learn everything deeply, because you're going to just spread so thin that you're not going to learn anything deeply. And you're just going to. So really, most people are T-shaped in the sense of they got a couple lines on the T. But most people that are the best devs I know are T-shaped, where they know a lot of things just good enough. They know so many things just good enough. And they know maybe like 4 or 5 things like super deeply as they go over the course of their career, where they can just tell you like the deepest knowledge in these certain areas. But like for the most part, like they don't, because programming has a lot of patterns and a lot of transferable skills between languages and technologies. It's not always, there's a lot of new tools coming out, but the concepts are always the same. Like everybody like, you know, kind of hate PHP. Like a lot of devs hate PHP for no reason really. They just hate it because of some history of it that they don't even really understand. They just follow the trend and just hate it. But there's nothing wrong with PHP. But a lot of people hate it, so they stop. You know, JavaScript was on the rise, so they started making a lot of web apps. There was all these different frameworks coming out like React, Vue, Angular, and people just started just using, you know, Vue and Angular and all these web apps, you know, to build their applications, and they stopped doing a lot of server-side rendering, which is what PHP did. And then recently, now like the JavaScript frameworks have started to go back to server-side rendering, like realizing like in a lot of situations it could be more optimal to server-side render your data, like render it on the server side before sending it back to the client, instead of having this super clear separation or a strict separation between the client and the back end. You know, just have your server actually render more of the data for the front end on the server side before it renders the page. And so now people like going back to server side rendering. It's like it's going like full circle back to, and I know it's not exactly going back to PHP, but it's like that's what PHP was doing, you know. And so it's just, you know, a lot of patterns are this, like the foundational patterns are the same. You just end up learning new. People just come up with new tools and tech around the same foundational patterns. So once you get T-shaped and you learn the patterns and stuff, it becomes a lot easier to keep up, because then you're like, okay, I don't need to go over there and learn this extra JavaScript framework. If I need to, I can go and learn it. I just need to know at a high level what it does and what it does differently from these other ones at a high level, so that if something comes up, I'll say, oh, it'll come in my mind and say, oh, somebody just made that other framework. I didn't go and learn it deeply and waste all my time, but now that I have a reason to, now I go over there and learn it, and I go learn it deeply because I need to learn it. So I kind of practice like an on-demand, being T-shaped, and then I go deep like on different topics on demand as I need them. You can't learn everything deeply. Like, it's just, you drive yourself crazy, man. But yeah, this newsletter, you can sign up for it. It'll send you like a bunch of tech industry stuff that you can kind of like, in the email it sends, you can just kind of read a little. They do like a little summary, and so you can read a lot of tech news very quickly in like 5 minutes in your email without even having. You can jump into articles that you like, but you don't have to. And so I use that. That kind of keeps me up to date with tech news and what's new and what companies shutting down, what new companies rising up, what's becoming popular. Is something getting popular enough for it to warrant my attention? And so it kind of helps, man, for sure. So yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a lot. Answered a lot of questions tonight, man. I appreciate people jumping on. I think I've been on here like 2 hours now, so I'm probably about to wind it down now. I think I appreciate all the questions and everything. I answered probably like 100 questions. So I appreciate y'all. If you're on TikTok, Twitch, Facebook, TikTok, I said it already, Instagram, Twitter, all of those stuff. Please follow so you can catch the next live. I'm gonna be doing these at least once a week. Please let me know what you'd like to see me do on the lives. I do coding challenges. I do Q&As like this. Follow each other, connect each other. Follow me on all different channels. Thank you, Brittany. Follow, subscribe on different channels and all that stuff like that. Send me a DM so we can connect. We can talk. I can follow you back, all that stuff. I guess you got to ask for all the following stuff. I mean, it's just how it goes. But I really appreciate everybody who joined. And I hope I helped somebody with this live. I hope I helped a lot of people answering these questions. I would do these a lot more often now. So I appreciate y'all, and y'all have a good night.